Hello my friends, happy Monday. Today's video is going to be all about UJAM, and I'm also going to be giving away some freebies, so make sure to stick around to the end of the video so you can know how to get your hands on some free stuff. So before I get into it, make sure to sign up to the early bird list for the new Production Music Academy. That link is below in the description. I've been working my butt off for the last couple of weeks, just trying to set it all up, and finishing up the orchestral trailer course, the new course, which will be available with the Academy access when it goes live on November 1st. But in the meantime, let's talk about UJAM. So my friends at UJAM got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago and asked me if I'd like to do a review of some of their new products. Of course, I happily obliged them, but I told them that I had
one condition.
And that condition was that you got to hook me up with some extra stuff that I can give away to my subscribers. And of course, them being the awesome people that they are, they were happy to hook me up with some extras, which is awesome. So here's what's happening. Let's open up this session. So I got 3 prizes that I'm giving away. One of them is the Symphonic bundle, which includes the strings and the drums library, which I'm going to showcase right now. The other is a rock bundle, which includes the Iron 2 Virtual Guitarist plugin, as well as the Virtual Drummer Brute. And third prize is the Groovemate 1 percussion library, all of which I'm going to be covering in today's video. And the prize packages will, of course, include some of my MIDI packs from productionmusictools.com. So let me talk about these tracks for a minute. I wrote both of these tracks this morning, and I wrote them really quickly. One of the tracks using the Symphonic bundle, and the other one using the rock bundle. And we're going to take a look at the Symphonic one first. So for this track, I used 4 instances of the drums plugin and 4 of the strings plugin. And keep in mind, these are plugins, not contact libraries. They're super easy and quick to load. They take up very little CPU, which is nice. And of course, they automatically sync to the tempo of your project. So each library comes with a sizable collection of loop presets, and each of the presets is highly customizable. So let's bring up one of these presets from strings here. I think one of my favorite features of strings, aside from being able to tweak with like the tone and the effects of your loop, is being able to adjust the bass note. So for example, like if we play this like loop here, that sounds great on its own, but we can change the bass note so that it becomes a little bit more playable. I love that about this plugin. It makes it so much more cool. The drums library has a very similar feature. The loops are divided up into different sections, like like single hits, intros, like fills, and ending sections, and like lots of cool like triplet stuffs and like different interesting syncopations. And these loops are, very customizable in terms of the sound and effects, like changing the saturation and the ambience and all that. And of course, the single hit feature is really, really important too, just to be able to kind of like use it to do whatever you want, really. But there's a ton of different loop presets on both libraries. Like, we have like just a ton to choose from, and they're all really, really cool. I think one of my favorite features of this drums library is that it has a really, really cool selection of like hybrid loops too, which you can kind of like place on top of like the more like cinematic like drum stuff. So a lot of like glitchy and like kind of metallic and edgy loops. Those kinds of things can really work easily in like a hybrid style. And that's just the thing with all these UJAM products, is that they just make everything so easy. So let's listen to this track that I wrote. It honestly took me like 10 minutes to put it together. It was so much fun. And, I threw in some of my own samples too, like some risers, cymbal swells, trailer hits, and that kind of thing, just to spice it up a little bit. But enjoy. Here we go. All right, so there it is. That's a symphonic bundle for you. Let's switch over to this rock track. Okay, so taking a look at this rock track that I wrote, and this one is kind of funny because, literally probably the least amount of tracks in a session that I've ever had, hands down. This Brute plugin is one of the easiest and most versatile and playable drum VSTs that I've ever worked with. It sounds really, really good too. So like all the other plugins, it's split into performance sections for the loops, and you can use single hits as well. I think one of this library's best features is just how punchy it sounds. I've got it on the Crush mix preset right now. It sounds like this on its own. Yeah, and there's just a ton of loop presets to choose from, and I'm using just one for this entire track. It's just super cool. Definitely going to use this plugin on future rock tracks, that's for sure. It also has a built-in mixer for the drum components, and as well as room sound, which is really handy. But I didn't end up messing with them at all. I honestly like how it sounds, right out of the box. And if you just want to use the single hits option and use it just to program your own drum patterns as a standalone drum sampler, it's great. So to complement these drums, I'm using the Iron 2 Virtual Guitarist VST. So this Iron 2 plugin is a part of a series of awesome guitar VSTs that UJAM has available. And the same goes for the drum libraries. Brute is just one of many drum plugins that they have. But Iron 2 is kind of special because it's their latest release, and it is by far my favorite. Just a heads up that the Iron, Brute, and the Rowdy bass library, they also have bass libraries, is part of the Virtual Guitarist Rocktober bundle. Right now, it's at 50% off until the end of the month. Okay, let's listen to this track. So again, I pretty much used just one instance of each plugin to do pretty much all the work in the track, but I thickened up this chorus section here with a secondary guitar part. Just really, really thick, low-end style, distorted guitar. I decided to record my own bass for this track. I can't let the plugins have all the fun. In a way, I almost felt kind of bad. It was so easy to write this track. It almost felt like I was cheating. So I wanted to put my own stamp on it a little bit. And that's kind of the cool thing about these plugins is that, you can easily get some ideas going as a starting point and then, throw your own stuff on top of it. I also added a few samples to this track, like a riser and some cymbal swells. Also some gang vocal samples from Splice. And that was all I needed, Sounds pretty awesome. Oh, and one other thing is I also used this Groovemate 1 plugin to add some percussion. And this plugin is really, really handy, and you could use it in a lot of different genres and styles. So it's just a percussion loop plugin, and it's perfect for adding those tambourine, shaker, and clap loops to your track. And in this track, I added a shaker and a clap loop. It sounds like this. Tons of presets and flexibility with this one too, and they all just sound really, really good. So let's change this loop up to something else here, and they'll all work pretty nicely. So I love this plugin, just makes life easy. That's what I'm all about. I definitely can see myself using this on future tracks. It does make it easier than dragging and, dropping samples from Splice into your track, then having to adjust them, depending on what the tempo is of the track. This just syncs to the tempo automatically, and, you got lots of options to choose from. They all sound good. Okay, so here's the deal. Like I said, I'm giving away some of this stuff. All you got to do is the following. First, comment on this video and tell me which track you liked more. which bundle you'd rather have and why. Second, follow UJAM and the Production Music Academy on Instagram. And that's it. It's that easy. Now, I know that not everyone is an Instagram user, so a YouTube comment will suffice, but I could use a little love on the old gram for the new Academy page. So bonus points if you got some love to spare for me. And of course, my buds over at UJAM. I will be sure to follow you back and yeah, make sure there's a way for me to get in touch with you through your YouTube account if you're not on the gram. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much to UJAM for being awesome. Thank you guys for watching and also being awesome. I look forward to hearing which plugins you guys like more, and I'll be announcing the winners in next week's video. In the meantime, make sure to go check out UJAM's website. All of their products can be downloaded as a free trial if you want to test drive them yourself, which is pretty cool. So thanks again. Sending love out to all of you, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.